we're going to write equations based on word problems. So the first thing I would ask you to do is to read the word problem carefully. So Sally will be 54 years old in 12 years. How old is she now? And I want you to go ahead and solve it. So if she's going to be 54 in 12 years, then right now she is 54 minus 12. Okay? And 54 minus 12 is 42. So we went ahead and answered that question. Now, I'm going to take you through some questions that you need to ask yourself every time you do this. First one is, what operation did you use to solve that problem? Well, we used subtraction. Okay? Now, what is the opposite of that operation? Well, the opposite is addition. Okay? And to write an equation for a word problem, you must write it using the opposite operation. It must contain both numbers written in the problem, a variable, and an equal sign. Okay? So I know I'm going to have an addition equation. I know I'm going to have a variable. I'm going to go ahead and say S for Sally. And I've got to use 54 and 12 into my equation. Okay? Well, 54 is my larger number. I'm going to put it over here to the right. And then I'm going to put my number here. And then the next clue you need to do is to make sure you need to solve it to make sure it's the right one. So the opposite of adding 12 would be subtracting 12. So if I subtract on one side, I have to do on the other. Over here, I'm left with S. And then 54, take away 12, again gives me 42. I need to check, is that what I was expecting to get? And it is. So this is the right equation. Let's read this question. Tom paid $4 for a fruit drink. He now has $14. How much money did he start with? Well, first thing, you need to solve it. So go ahead and work it out. So if he had $4 that he paid out and he still has 14, I would add those together to get 18. And that is how much he started with. So what did I do to solve the problem? Well, I used addition. Well, the opposite of that would be subtraction. So I need a subtraction equation. So I know I'm going to have a variable. I'm going to go ahead and put in T for Tom. And then I know I'm going to have an equal sign. And then I've got to use 14 and 4. I'm going to go ahead and put my larger number on the right, 14 over here, and 4 here. Now I'm going to make sure that that's the correct equation. So opposite of take away 4 is add 4. If I do that to one side, I have to balance and do it on both. Over here I'm just left with T, and 14 plus 4 is 18. So T is equal to 18. Is that what I was expecting to get? Yes, it is. So this is the correct equation. Step 1, read that question. How many packs of crackers can you buy with $28 if one pack costs $2? So I know that each pack costs $2 and I have 28. So how many can I buy? To figure that out, I would need to divide 2 into 28. And that goes 14 times. So I know I can buy 14 packs. Okay? What did I do to solve that? I divide it. So the opposite of that is a multiplication. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I divided, and so the opposite of that is multiplication. So that means I need a multiplication equation. So I know I need a variable. So we're going to use C for crackers. Okay? And my number is going to go right before that. So I'm going to have a number that goes with C. Remember, to show multiplication, you're going to put those numbers right beside each other. Okay? So they each cost $2. So that's the number going to go with the variable. 2C and 28 goes here. All right? So the opposite, to solve it, I'm going to divide by whatever number's with the variable. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, have it balanced. And over here, C equals 14. That's what I was expecting to get. So my answer, my equation, is this one here. Okay? Let's look at one more. So this one says, Catherine and her two friends went out to eat. They decided to split the bill evenly. Each person paid $11. What was the total bill? All right, here's the trick on this one. Catherine and her two friends. So there are 3 people that ate. All right, and each of those paid $11. So what I would do to solve it is I would say 3 times 11 is 33. Okay, so the total bill was 33. So what operation did we use to solve it? We used multiplication. What's the opposite of that operation? Division. Okay, so we need a division equation. All right, so I know in division that my variable goes on top of the fraction, so in the numerator, and I'm just going to put K. And remember, there were 3 people eating, so K divided by 3 equals, and the other number was 11. Okay, so here's my variable. My equation. K divided by 3 equals 11. So to solve this, what we're going to do is the opposite of dividing by 3 is to multiply by 3. We got to balance that. Okay, over here I'm left with just K. And then 11 times 3 is 33. So my answer to that equation is 33. That's what I was expecting to get. So here's my equation. Now, keep in mind, our goal here was to write an equation for each problem. Okay? It wasn't just to solve it, because we could do that very quickly at the beginning. Our goal is to take that information and write an equation for it. Okay? And remember that each equation must contain both numbers that are in the word problem, a variable, and an equal sign.